So now that we know the extent of the damage roughly caused by Ida, give us your damage assessment.
Well, what we know right now is about 8 refineries in the Baton Rouge, New Orleans area, representing about 12.5% of the nation's capacity, have been shut down. And these shutdowns are due to problems in the electric grid as well as wind damage at the refinery itself. What we've seen before with Hurricane Laura back in August of 2020 was when a Category 4 storm hit the Gulf Coast. Those refineries in Lake Charles were down 6 to 8 weeks due to wind damage in the refinery and the inability of the local utility to get power restored for several weeks. And as a result, I'm estimating for most of these refineries, we're looking at normal operations about 4 weeks down the road. And for a couple of them down towards the coast, it could be longer if they sustain significant wind damage.
And it comes at a time when East Coast inventory stockpiles are already at close to a decade low. So are there structural issues within this market that's not just, weather related?
Well, of course, the pandemic has resulted in less demand in the United States, as well as a number of refinery shutdowns. So what we have seen over the last couple of months is refining margins haven't really been that good. With the world as a whole has been drawing inventories down. That's why we see OPEC Plus restoring production over the next couple of months. But the bottom line is that inventories have been drawing. They're about 6% less than this time last year for gasoline. And as a result, when you get a major supply disruption like we've seen, then tightness is going to develop in the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic markets.
So, Andy, how will that spread across the entire country? I mean, are oil and gas as fungible as, say, money?
Well, generally speaking, we could say that oil and gas is fungible. There are some local differences on gasoline quality specifications, especially in California. But for the most part, we shuffle around the supplies from various regions of the country. That's why we see in Texas, we're long on refinery supply. We're shipping it into the Midwest as well as the East Coast. The East Coast has now become a major importer of gasoline supplies from Europe and elsewhere with the shutdown of East Coast refineries. And it's really a matter of timing, getting the supply in the right place in a very quick manner as the refineries in the New Orleans area have shut down.
So, Andy, step back, big picture. We don't know exactly how the Delta variant's going to affect things. A lot of concern about things slowing down. China's economy, how strong is it? Is the Fed going to taper sooner or later, et cetera? Long-term outlook for oil. Where are we going to be at the end of the year? Where are we going to be in a year?
Well, I think we're going to remain at this kind of level. For Brent crude oil, I think the range remains $68 to $72 a barrel. And for WTI, it's between $65 and $70 a barrel, because the world in the big picture is wrestling with what's going to happen with the COVID demand and how quickly are vaccines going to get rolled out in order to restore that demand. And on the other hand, we do know that OPEC Plus is restoring production, but these lower crude oil prices have resulted in less capital spending in the oil patch.